So in this class we try to discuss a very important topic regarding design of a shaft. So what is this design of a shaft? So while you are discussing something, some machine component or some machine element, the first thing is first you try to understand what is the actual function of that particular machine component. Before designing a machine component, any machine component, not only for shaft, even for keys or even for couplings or even for spring, whatever it is, first you try to understand what are the basic function of that particular machine component, and you try to understand what are the advantages and disadvantages. That means why we are at the initial stage of basic design procedure, we already discussed that what is the actual purpose, what is the actual function, and why we are making that particular component. So all those things are to be studied carefully, right? In this case we are discussing about the, or we are dealing with the design of a shaft. That means as a design engineer you have to focusing on the what is meant by a shaft, and what is the actual function of the shaft, and what are the material that are used for the shaft, and what are the forces that are acting on the shaft, right? That means all these things are comes under the category of your design itself, right? So that means in order to making a design a component, first you have to make a complete problem statement, and what are the things that has to be comes under the category of all the all the shafts you have to be noted down, right? So that is how you supposed to read or design of your shaft. So in a design of a shaft, simple thing is first you have to understand what is the function of a shaft, and how many types of shafts you are available, and what are the material that are available for shaft, and how you supposed to design a your shaft. In order to design a shaft, first you have to analyze what are the forces. Just simply recollect what are the all the what are the all the steps that we have discussed in the earlier classes. That is basic design procedure. Simply we have to follow those steps as it is. Simply we have to follow those steps as it is. Okay, what are those steps? First thing, so in the first step of your design procedure, so simply I am interrelated with one over the other, because we are already discussed some of the important points regarding basic design procedure of measurement. Those design procedures, those steps are simply have to be incorporated, or simply have to apply those design process for this shaft, right? Then you can easily understand for any machine component. If you apply those phenomenon, those principles, then you can easily understand how you supposed to design of your machine component, like your shaft, Okay, fine. Now we have to move the first step. What is the first step? The first step is what is the aim or purpose or problem statement. A complete problem statement of your object or machine component. That is the basic step of your design procedure of any machine component. So here also same process. So what is the definition of your shaft, right? And what is the actual function? All those things are supposed to be discussed. Okay, fine. Now what is meant by shaft? A simple thing is, a shaft is a machine element, right? It is also one of the machine component or machine element, right? Now what is the structure of this object, right? As a design engineer you have very much clear idea regarding what is the structure of the particular object. So that here in this case the structure of the object of your shaft is, it is a circular cross section. It is a circular cross section, right? So you please clearly understand, we are simply interrelated with your design process with your this design of a shaft. You are simply interrelated with one step one over the other, one by one. So problem statement here, it is a shaft. What is a shaft? Shaft is a machine element. And what is the cross section? Generally it is a circular cross section. Generally it is a circular cross section, and here it is a rotating member. Here it is a rotating member, right? Generally it is a rotating. Normally you can observe that already, you know that what is a shaft, right? Just simply first you have to understand for the existing object, then you can easily apply these principles to your new ones, any machine component also. Okay, so generally we will observe in your real life applications. So shaft is a rotating member and it is a machine element, and it is generally in a circular cross section. Okay, fine. In a problem statement itself, why we are using this shaft, that is also another important parameter. Why actually we are using this shaft? Just simply we are using for the shaft is simply for transmitting, which is used to transmitting a rotary motion or simply torque. Okay, generally it is used for transmitting a rotary motion or torque. Okay, right, fine. Now what is the, already we discussed that it is a cross section. The cross section is circular cross section. So circular cross section means you are having the shaft may be hollow or solid cross section, right? The shaft may be a hollow or solid cross section. If you observe this phenomenon, a hollow or solid cross section, I think simply you can recollect that one idea you came across in your earlier classes, right? Already you are solved so many number of problems based on these things. You already solved so many problems based on these things, right? So what is the chapter mean? Simply in strength of materials you are having a torsion. Right? Whenever you are having a torque transmitting means, that means whenever you are having a circular object or rotating member, then you are supposed to having a torque transmission. Torque transmission means you are having a in the earlier classes in strength of materials already you studied or you came across regarding the point of torsion. On that case itself you already discussed that some of the points regarding what is a hollow shaft and what is a solid shaft, what is the advantages of solid shaft and hollow shaft. So all these things are you came across in your earlier classes itself, that is in strength of materials. But simply here we will discuss that based by applying or by using of those concepts, how you supposed to design or how you supposed to apply those principles to these shafts. That is very important parameter. It is a very important parameter, right? So this is the actual step of your what we called in first step of your designing of a shaft. That is problem statement. Simply can say that it is a problem statement. In a problem statement that involves the what is the actual size and what is the actual shape of your object, right? That is the basic thing already we discussed. In a initial step of design, right? In the initial stage of design or initial step of design, what we do simply as a design engineer, right? As a design engineer you can estimate or you yourself imagine that what is the size of the component, what is the shape of the component, what is the color of the component, and what is the function of the component, what is the actual aim. So aim is very important. So what is the main function or aim or purpose of that particular machine component, what you are supposed to be designed. So all those things are comes under the category of your first step. So this is the first step. So shaft is a circular cross section, and in circular cross section it may be a solid shaft or it may be a hollow shaft, and the function is a rotating member, and it is used to transmitting the torque or normally power or whatever it is based on the type of application where it is to be used. Okay, fine, very good. Now you simply move on to the next one, right? Where you are using the shafts. Simply normally these shafts are supported on the bearings. These shafts are supported on the bearings, right? And it also transmits the torque. Right? Normally I told you that shaft is used for transmitting the torque or power or whatever it is. So generally when it is mounted on the bearings, right, it can transmit the torque with the help of gears, belts and pulleys. Right? So by using of these things, these components, shaft is able to transmitting torque. Shaft is able to transmitting torque with the help of gears, belts and pulleys, right? Okay, fine. Now right, so after transmitting the torque, generally what it will experiencing, the shaft will experiencing normally. So that is the question. Right. Right. So generally shafts are subjected to bending moment. Simply it is nothing but you can say that it is a simply supported beam. Normally you can assume that it is a simply supported beam, or you can assume that it is overhanging beam or something like that. But you yourself imagine that it is a beam. Right? So that whenever you are applying a loading conditions, definitely it will undergo some bending moment. Right? And due to rotation of the object, it will experiencing a torsion. And due to incorporate of your objects like your belts, gears and pulleys, it will experiencing some forces, that it may be axial force, right? So by combination of all these things, normally the shaft wheel mounted on the, generally is a bearing or your gears and pulleys. Whenever you are applying a forces, definitely it will undergo some bending moment, torsion and axial forces. And sometimes it may be combination of bending moment and torsion, right? And sometimes combination of torsion and axial forces, or sometimes it may be a combination of all these three. That means here one point you have to be clear. That means while you are designing a machine component, that means this particular shaft, as a design engineer, you have to be concentrated on all these things. That means you have to be concentrated on bending equation, you have to be concentrated on torsion equation, and also you have to be concentrated on the forces, right? Maybe shear force or tensile force or whatever it may be. That means axial force, right? That means this is a combination of these three forces. Definitely will get the final answer, right? Already you know the bending equation. What is the bending equation? So m by I equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. That is the bending equation. Already you know the torsion equation also, right? You know the derivation and you know the equation. What is the torsion equation? That is T by J equal to tau by R equal to G theta by L. This is another equation. So based on those things, simply based on those parameters, right, by using of those equations, right? So suppose you are having m by I is equal to sigma by y, normally E by R, radius of curvature, whatever it may be. So m is the bending moment, plays very important role, right? And bending stress plays a very important role. And in case of torsion equation, shear stress plays a very important role, and diameter plays a very important role. So if you keeping off all these points in your mind, then it is easy for you to design for the shaft if you are applying these equations. So how you supposed to apply all these things and all these parameter, we will discuss it at the design stage, right? But as a design engineer, first you have to understand normally what kind of a forces it will experiencing and what kind of a stresses it will experiencing. So that is the actual point what we are discussing in the basic design procedure. So that is the reason why I have chosen this concept in this session, in order to apply those principles to this machine component, right? So first one is the problem specification, and second is the select suitable mechanism, and third one is the apply forces, right? And estimate the different types of stresses in different types of stresses that are occurring in your machine component. So all these things we have discussed in your basic design process. So same concept will be applied here also, same concept, right? So transmitting the torque, so torque is very important parameter here, right? And here bending force and torsion and axial forces. So all these forces are very important. and whenever you are having a forces, corresponding stresses will experiencing. So corresponding stress also very important parameter here, also corresponding stress also very important. So simply how to use those equations. Okay, now based on these things only, you use, the design of the shaft is depends. So that is the point here I mentioned. The shafts are designed depending upon the combination of the load it is subjected to. Combination of the load it is subjected to, right? So it is a very important point, right? Very good, right? Fine. Now move on to the next one. So what are the materials that are used for shaft? What are the materials that are used for the shaft? So here already I told you that the importance of a I already discussed in the LA class itself, LA session itself, importance of a selection of a material. Every machine component, whether it may be a success or failure, right? Whether your machine component is a success one or a failure one, will entirely depends upon the selection of a material. Those selection of a material is entirely based on your material properties and availability, cost and manufacturability. Right, this is the point. These are the point we already discussed. Right, now in this case, what are the best method that are suitable for your shaft? What is the best material that are used for the shaft? Right. So all those points are supposed to be discussed here. Right. So materials that are used for the ordinary shafts is mild steel. Right. Materials that are used for the ordinary shaft is a mild steel. That means here, simple one example you can consider that. Let us consider plain carbon steel. So it is a very less expensive material. Right, understand? It is a very less expensive material that are used for the shaft. And why you are using this? It is essential require machining to remove the scale of hot rolling process. Removing of scaling on hot rolling process. Right. What happens if you select a cold plain carbon steel? Suppose if you consider a cold rolled plain carbon steel, it provides a better yield strength. Right? It provides a better yield strength. Okay, fine. And better endurance strength also. And better endurance strength also. So the point of endurance strength is already you know that. Right? Right. Now, what are the difficulty in applying of this cold working process? Simple thing is, it experiencing a induced stresses. It experiencing a induced stresses. Induced residual stresses. It experiencing a induced residual stresses, and already this is a very important point regarding of residual stresses, and already we discussed that residual stressor cannot be avoided. Right? Residual stressor cannot be avoided, but one thing what we can do regarding of this residual stress is simply we can reduce the effect of residual stress on a machine component. Even though we can reduce the effect, some portion of the some kind of effect will be there on your machine component, so that it will experience some kind of drawback on your machine component. So that even though cold rolled steels are place a better strength, better, it will experiencing a better result. The only difficulty for applying of those cold plain carbon steel is, simple thing is, it will experiencing a residual stresses. It will experiencing a residual stresses. That is the only drawback. Right? Right. So that is the point. Now, and next thing is, if it is used for a general purpose transmission of shafts, generally it is used for the general purpose of the transmission shaft. Now, normally we are not using for the general purpose, not all the time. What happens if you are using for the very severe loading conditions and corrosive environmental conditions? Maybe this case also occur in your real life situation. Right? Right. So not all the time you are having same situation or plain situation. Sometimes if you want to work in a very heavy loading conditions, heavy loading conditions and corrosive environment, right? That means on that particular on that particular conditions, you required more strength. So generally, if that is the case, alloy steels are used. So that is the second point. That means high strength is required. High strength is required, and on the particular case alloy steels are used. What are the alloy steels? Generally the alloy steels are nickel, chromium, or chromium vanadium steels, or something like that. So already you know this point regarding of your what we call in your material sciences, right? You please go through your material sciences and read out those properties, why you are using these properties, why you are using these properties and all those things. Then you came to know very well. Right? So this is the process. Right, fine. Now, what are the types of shafts? So this is the simple thing. Not much explanation are required regarding of what are the types of shaft, because we mainly focusing on the normally what is the function of a shaft, and what are the forces that are acting on the shaft, and what are the stresses that are induced on the shaft, and material. So material plays an important role. So material is what kind of material we are using. So what kind of a material we are using, especially for this particular kind of a shaft. If you know all these things, then you can go for the basic design equations what we are having for particularly shaft, for making a particular shaft. Okay, right. So in this case of different types of shafts are available. Normally we are having two types of shafts. So first one is a transmission shaft. So normally these transmission shafts are used to transmitting the power. Normally, simple definition, transmitting power or torque, whatever it may be. Here it is used for power between the source and the machine absorbing power. Source means what we are using, and other end we are observing the power, right? So the best example is the counter shafts and line shafts. The best example are the counter shafts and line shafts are the best example regarding of your shafts, right? So this is the one type of figure, right? Okay, fine. Right, next you are having the machine shaft. So machine shaft means this is a kind of shaft working as a machine part, and the shaft is also called as a machine part. That's why it is called as a machine shaft. Okay, so the best example for this particular shaft is a very simple example. It is crankshaft. So your crankshaft is a very good example of this machine shaft, crankshaft. Okay. Right, so the simple thing, just simply you have to remember what is general classification, that is sufficient. And the next topic is, next point is we'll discuss what is the solid shaft and what is the hollow shaft. Already you know that in the basic definition itself we will discuss that. It generally you are having a hollow shaft and solid shaft. So why you are selecting this what are the advantages and disadvantages of solid shaft? Here I am explaining only the advantage and disadvantage of solid shaft. So remaining counterpart will be automatically your hollow shaft. So no need to explain, right? Right. So what are the advantages of solid shaft? Right. The advantage of solid shaft is simple thing. First one is it is suitable for high torque application. That means whenever you are requiring a higher torque transmission, a higher power transmission, simply we are using this high torque. This solid shaft will be very useful if you are using for high torque application, and it is resistant to bending. That means whenever you are having the maximum bending, that means high amount of the bending is automatically leads to the failure of machine component. It leads to the failure of a machine component. That means the entire stress will be located on that particular area. So automatically the failure region will be on that particular, concentrated on that particular location, right? So that it is very useful advantages. Regarding of your solid shaft. Next, it is perfectly rolled for very smooth operation even at high speeds. So even that means simple thing is you can understand that for high speed application and high torque transmission, simply you are using a solid shaft. That is the basic point here. Next, so high rigidity even at small diameter also. Even though you can make a very small diameter, it will experiencing a high rigidity. Even if you are using very small diameter. That means for high torque transmission, high speeds, and for very smooth operations, and even though for a small diameter also, we are using of this solid shaft, right? So on the other hand we are having disadvantages also. What are the disadvantages? Right. So disadvantage means it is a very very high cost, right, and weight is also very very high. It is also very very high cost and weight is also very very high, and it must be straight from manufacture. Straight from manufacture. That means straight from manufacture definition means itself it does not tolerate any misalignment. It does not tolerate any misalignment when you are assembling or when you are providing or when you are installing. If there is any misalignment, it will not tolerate. That means it will not give exact result what we are experiencing or what we expected. The expected result may not come. The expected result may not come, right, if you are having this kind of situation. Okay. Next, high rotation inertia, particularly on larger diameter. So rotational inertia is a main cause of problem. Rotational inertia is a main cause of problem whenever we are using a large diameter. Whenever you are using a inertia. So inertia means resistant to force simply. So that means so it's a very very difficult part. So it will experiencing a some kind of a failure regarding if you are using the large diameter. If you are using a large diameter. Now, where shaft is exposed to very high temperature, so that means even though when shaft is exposed to very high temperature, the shallow shaft made of mild steel bends at rest. So that means if you are operating these kind of shafts, especially at for high temperatures, right? Even though it is at rest, it will bend. It will bend. So that means special type of metal is used for this application. Special type of material, that means already we are mild steel or some other steels are you are suppose nickel, chromium or vanadium. So these are the materials that are suitable for this kind of a shaft. Right. Now if you are adding of another material will also increase in the cost of your component. Right. Already I told you that at the cost point. So you do not go for the cheap, but at the same time it will experiencing a good result. So that suppose if you are adding the any other machine component or manufacturing process or material, it also affects the total cost of your machine component. It will affect the total cost of your machine component. So these are the disadvantages. Simply you can reflect these disadvantages to your hollow shaft also, right? So this is what we are having in this class, right? In the next class, we try to discuss some of the important points regarding the design consideration of your shaft. Design consideration of that means how you supposed to design, what are the basic equation, on what basis you are designing, of your machine component. So these points are we are supposed to be discussed in coming classes. So hope you understand.